Okay, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I've got something a little special for you. We're going to be starting a brand new series called The Road to the Pro Tour. Now, I don't think this has been done before, so pretty excited. I'm currently around 960 rated. In a good round, I'll shoot around 1,000, but I'm still very far off where I need to be. I just played in the World Championships, which I'm going to be talking about a little bit today as well. But the main thing I noticed is I need to work on my touch. So before you guys out to this nice, only kind of bit of woodsy whatever in the whole of Malaysia. And we're going to through a few shots and kind of go through my thought process and what I'm learning as I'm doing each one. All right, something I actually discovered at Worlds, which is really useful, whale sacks. You need to make sure your hands are dry if you're playing in the woods. First shot, we're throwing a linking reactor. So the first kind of thing that I'm going to be thinking of as I'm doing this is my distance of my run. I'm going to start off with 3 steps. I'm just going to see how that feels, if it's workable. If not, I can always change it. Yeah, not warmed up, and I'm going to be honest, touch is probably the worst part of my game right now, and you can definitely see by that. But I'm going to keep it unfiltered, show you guys the real deal. So again, I feel like 3 steps was a little too short there. So I'm going to tweak it a little. That's a really important thing when you're doing field work, just little tweaks at a time. So 4 steps back, same disc. Okay. So it was instantly better, but obviously still not the best shot. I kind of pulled it again, which is something I do a lot in the woods. I'm not really sure why that was. I think it's my timing. So what I've been kind of doing is I'm used to being a power player. So when I get to the woods, it kind of messes with my timing because I haven't had the practice of that slower tempo. And I think when I pull back all the way, it doesn't give me enough time because of the slower tempo to come all the way around, and I kind of end up trying to yank it at the last moment, and that's when it kind of releases late. So I'm gonna try focus on reaching back less, see if that helps. Interesting. Okay, so I still yanked it. I'm full on power gripping right now. Maybe that's not the best idea if I'm throwing it this short. Oh yeah, that helped a lot. Look at that. That's almost on it. Okay, so that's an instant fix. Power gripping it works if I'm throwing it hard, but as soon as I try and throw softer, I think it's kind of just sticking to my fingers a little. Yeah. I mean, I completely missed the line. Well, no, I hit the line, but I just threw the disc on the wrong angle. Just gonna keep focusing on that same thing. Nice and smooth, shorter reach back. Again, I hit the line, just not the right disc. So I'm thinking, as I'm throwing these, I'm really visioning my shot. Look at that. That is much better. Much better. As I'm throwing, I'm really looking at the line, and I'm visioning what the disc is going to do before I even throw it. And I'm hoping that's going to help me commit to the shot more. Yeah. I definitely still released it a little early, but you can see it's getting much more crisp from those first few throws. That was much better. I did expect that disc to be a little more stable, but we got it down the gap very nicely. This 4-step run-up is really feeling good, so that's something I can really recommend, is work on your run-up. Wow, that thing's flippy. I thought I threw that perfect. Okay, add that to my memory. To be more specific, I would say what I love to do is close your eyes and just do your run-up and throw from a mark, and then work out how far you actually need to go from that mark in order to achieve that run-up. That's great. That is so good. It is feeling way better. But what you're doing by closing your eyes is you're not letting anything get in the way of what your body wants. Like, that's gonna really get out what your body wants to do and what works for you, because everyone's different. No one's gonna have the exact same run-up. and that thing is a lot more stable than I thought. But that's another part of it. Learning your discs is super important, because if you throw a shot perfect in your mind, but it doesn't actually end up going anywhere near the target, yes, you could say it's the disc's fault, but you really just need to learn your disc better. Oh, that's my miss. Oh boy. There's the grip lock that loves to happen. That's good correction. But yeah, going back to that, learning your discs, when you're throwing it this soft, what a lot of people forget to factor in is that you're throwing it a lot softer than normal, so your disc will naturally want to fade more. So it is about learning your discs, but it's about learning your discs at every distance. If you know when you're throwing a full power shot, it's flipping over, it's probably not going to do that if you're throwing it 280 feet in the woods. Oh. Yeah, kind of hit my chest on that one, but gonna go pick those up, throw a few more. I'm gonna move this back maybe another 50 feet or so, throw some fairway drivers, and see how that goes. Okay, we've moved back just a little bit. This makes the shot automatically a lot harder, but we're gonna give it a go with some fairway drivers, see how we do. I think I'm gonna move my run up back a little bit, so let's try 5 steps since we're disking up. That was really close. That was a acceptable first attempt, I would say. So yeah, I just got back from Finland, and I played at the World Championships as a 17-year-old. It was an awesome experience. I have got to say that. The courses, let's just say if you did that on that course, it's an automatic triple bogey. The courses are so cool. Like Tampere is genuinely one of the best courses I've ever played. What I noticed is I can throw the same shot as the pros 5 or 6 out of 10 times. But the problem is they do it 9 out of 10 times. And when they miss by a lot less than me. So the big thing I've got to work on is consistency, and especially these short ones. I'm really inconsistent, as you can probably tell. I'm going to try go for a power grip, see if that helps. Oh yeah, look at that difference. Look at that difference. That just changed everything. Okay, so mid-ranges, fan grip. Fairway drivers, power grip. Because you could see I was throwing them way out left. And I think that's just because I couldn't grip it right. Ah, almost, just a little high. This guy right here was my absolute gem out in Finland. Star Leopard, the best little woods disc ever made, I think. Yeah, it wasn't doing that at Worlds, by the way. That's completely my fault. Yeah, again, just not consistent enough at these shots. Yeah, you can really see that I got to work on this. But that's important. You got to be able to recognize where your flaws are so that you can work on them. That one was so close to having it. Almost. The line was what I wanted, just went really high. I wonder if I'm pulling back too low, which is kind of causing me to then pull it up. That's something that I've seen a lot of times in beginners. When they try and throw lower, they pull down lower, but that actually ends up torquing it up rather than coming up higher and keeping it flatter. So that's something I've got to maybe try to do a little more now. Not that low. Jeez, that was... yeah. Again, so close to being good, but not quite. But something you got to bear in mind is you're not going to see results overnight. That's not how this game works. That's not how anything works. You've got to just put in the reps. And eventually you'll start learning and seeing what's working. So again, I'm throwing it on the line, but it's high. That was a little better. In between those last two would be great. Last shot, and I'm gonna have to pick up discs. But again, try to keep it low. That's the focus. And I've thrown it high again. Get lucky. Nope. Well, yeah. Okay, obvious thing I gotta work on, these fairway drivers. The mid-ranges, I got down a little better today. So we're gonna pick up the fairways and try that again. Let's work on that height, I think, initially. So get the height right is very important. So something I wanna say right now, you might notice something a little different from the way I'm kind of presenting my channel to others. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like every shot that I throw is absolutely perfect. And while some people might not enjoy that, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna show you that it's not a smooth, steady road to get to the Pro Tour. Every single one of the players there has worked incredibly hard to improve. And that kind of effort doesn't come without mistakes. You're gonna throw some horrible shots. And I don't want people to feel discouraged because of that. So I'm gonna keep this really transparent and show you every single one of my misses. Like that one. That is not what you want to be doing. Wow. The mosquitoes out here are wild too. Getting bitten all over my arm. That's not great. What I'm gonna do as well, I'm gonna put all these shots into slow-mo and analyze my misses. And then analyze my good shots and see the kind of comparisons. That's great. That's the shot we're chasing. That is the shot we're chasing. One day I'll be able to do that every time. Damn. I just swallowed a mosquito. Well, it is kind of discouraging to throw a bad shot. I'm not going to let it put me down. Yes, it sucks in the moment, but you have to miss in order to make some. Look at that. Look at that. That's really nice. That is the feeling of the swing that I want. Almost got it again. Just held on to it a little too long. Now, right now, I'm really focusing is pulling the disc through on my line. Really making sure I'm starting it out on the right path. Not like that though. That's another tree. So yeah, I mean, while it's all fun and games to go out to a big open field and throw some big bombs, which I've done fair share of, this is the kind of stuff that I need to work on, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I can figure out what is wrong with my throw. Oh, that felt way better. Look at that. That was a big improvement. Instead of pulling out to kind of here, I tried pulling round behind me a little more. Maybe that corrected the line. You think you find a solution and you go right back to square one. Okay, I hit the gap. I know it didn't fly great, but with the right disc, that is the throw. So I think I might have found something. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pick those up, try it again. Right, let's see if what I've been doing there actually helps out. Another thing worth mentioning, if you guys are enjoying, please drop a like, drop a follow, subscribe to the channel, because you don't want to miss out on this journey. Because just imagine I make it onto the Pro Tour and you're able to say, I was a day one for this guy. That'd be awesome. Let's see, have I fixed it? Okay. It is definitely not fixed, but it is on the right track for improving. anything that's feeling better is a win for me in my books. Oh my. Wow. Okay. Not quite the line I was hoping for, but it's an improvement. We're pulling it less, we're releasing it less early. Oh yeah. Look at that shot. That is a T-bird, folks. Oh boy. Oh my, what a kick. What a kick. Oh my goodness. I felt the timing on that. Pulled it way too late. Whoa, we did it again. Interesting. Reset. Focus. Better. A little bit better. Fade out. Come on. Damn. Again, a bit of luck, but we're improving. Oh boy. My foot just got stuck in the rotation. Let me try something slightly different in my run. I'm going to try to be more bouncy. Well, that seemed to have helped. Look at that throw. T-butt again. Let me try to be a little more bouncy, maybe. Okay. Threw it high again, but the line was correct. I'm gonna try that one more time. No. Nope, nope, nope. Unfortunately, did not work. Let's go back to the regular or run-up. And it's about the same shot. Yes. Yes. That is the one. Okay. Again, I've just got to focus so hard on these shots. Oh yeah. Get in the basket. Make it nice. Oh, that would have been a way to finish the video. But I do think I've improved. Even if it's just a very small margin. If we keep improving just tiny bits, eventually we'll get where we need to go. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it might have been a bit boring, just throwing shots down a tunnel 10% of the time. But yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do to get good. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I am going to be going into school. I'm in a boarding school, so I'm going to have to be filming on an open field, which is going to make it difficult, but we're going to find a way. We will find a way. But I'll see you guys then, and thank you guys so much for watching. Peace. I missed. See ya.